Hey everybody, welcome back. What we're going to do right now is revisit the issue we were having with the mud daubers getting into the transfer switch. Originally we had found out they were coming through that hole right there, but you can also see there's a gap there. There's gaps up at the top, and then ours does this at the top too, right? So I'm going to cut to a few clips of what my dad did. He had the same exact issue, so we're going to cut to some video of what he did to fix his, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do to this one.
Yeah. One big one back there.
Yeah, you can see the mud on your bus bar.
Bus bar there,
right,
the mud here.
Right.
And the biggest thing was caked around this guy.
Right, and that's what stopped it from transferring that one day.
There was so much mud there, that thing would not operate.
Right, so you can see he's got silicone up in the corners to kind of stop him from coming in there, and then you've done this at the bottom here, a little like a netting.
It's a like a little net.
Yeah, like a little netting.
I just used silicone.
Yep.
There was holes drilled there, and you want to be able to drain the water out of it in case moisture just get in here and keep it dry. And where they bolted it to the cement there, the concrete.
I see that, just in case they get back there.
Yeah, there too.
Because they can get in about anything, I guess, huh?
They use washers up there, which
that helped, right?
That helped right there.
All right.
Nice.
Well, that'll give me a few ideas. I'll have to go back and look at mine. So far, the only thing I've done to mine is I had you don't have it, but I had a hole back there for some reason. And I just put a bolt and a nut in it. And I think I've stopped them for now, but I want to go ahead and make sure I get it totally done. All right, so you can see what he did. We're going to do something pretty similar. We're going to place some silicone up in the corners here at the top on both sides, and then that big hole right there. And you can see that mud tracking in from that big hole. I'm pretty sure that's where they were coming in previously, but I did put that nut and bolt there just temporarily until I could figure out what would be a more permanent fix. And then we still have the issue of our lid at the top, or our top lid is a little bit looser than his is in the video. So, but he gave me some good ideas, and he gave me some material to use. This is what we're going to be using. It's some type of netting. It's plastic, mesh. It's not metal. And we're going to be cutting that and siliconing it up in those holes. And I'm going to figure out something for the top. All right, so basically I got some gray silicone, and I just ran it across that whole gap up there. And then just a little bit on this back side where you can see daylight like that. Still got to do this other side, but that's the gap. So silicone will take care of that, and we're going to use the mesh down here on that gap and that gap as well. That way, if you get a blowing rain and water does get in here, that way it'll have a spot for the water to drain back out. All right, so I got the other side done. Both sides nice and sealed up. Next up is just to cut the screen mesh, and then I'm going to use a little bit of silicone just to hold it down. So believe it or not, I just noticed there was a small gap here in the front as well. I had missed that one previously, so while I got all the stuff out here, we're fixing it up. So not the prettiest of a fix, but it'll still allow it to breathe and allow some water to run out just in case it needs to. So I'm just going to do the same thing to this side over here. This is about the length I'm cutting them. If I cut this too short, it doesn't want to give me a good bend, and it just keeps kind of doing like a spring effect. But if I cut it long enough, it'll let me bend it, so I'm able to get it in that corner. But yeah, got the back one in there, back one, front one. Just got to do the front one right there. So we're all done with the little mesh in the corners, and then the silicone up at the top. I'll go show you what I got in store for the front cover. Also remember, if you're having the same issue and you decide to do something about it like I did, just remember to make sure everything is off before you start. You definitely wouldn't want to touch any of this while it's live. All right, so my plan for the secondary cover here, for the last cover you put on, it already had this hole and this hole on the very end, and I put one in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a piece of that same mesh, and I'm just going to put 3 self-tapping screws in each hole to hold it and let it kind of drape over at the top, create like a kind of a curtain or a barrier. And I don't think we're going to have any more dirt daubers getting in this thing after that. I think that's going to stop the whole problem, right? So you can get an idea how that's going to work, and then that's just going to tuck up in there. There's the finished product. It's all sealed up. You're just left with that little bit of overhang right there, which, like I said, mine does, or did. It actually takes away some of that slop, rock back and forth. Probably won't be able to see it on camera, but that little hole, that little gap right there, most of it's covered up with silicone, but what's not, that's still that gap, the mesh takes care of that on both sides. So I don't think there's any way for anything else to get inside this thing. Anyway, if you were having the same issue that I was having, and that my dad was having, hopefully this video helps you out, gives you a couple ideas of what to do. And if anything, just go out there every once in a while and periodically check and just make sure that there's no mud nest in there that's going to stop your transfer switch from working properly. Thanks everybody for watching. Subscribe, like, share, ring the notification bell. Have a good one. We'll see you on the next one.